Great. Thank you everyone for your patience, and thank you all for taking part in the semifinals after the completion of 3 workshops throughout phase 2. My name is Jenny Jung. I'm the program officer and co-lead of the Champions program of WeGO, and I'll be your moderator for the semifinals today. So as you all know, today will be your chance to showcase your final presentations in which you've developed for the past weeks with your teams, and to show us how you've incorporated the feedback you've received. We are now joined by 3 of our esteemed judges from renowned institutions and corporations, as well as by a representative on behalf of the WeGO Secretariat. And they're all here to present and to have an evaluation of your presentations, and they'll also be present during your finals. I'm very delighted to introduce the judging panel here today and to our champions. First, we have Mr. Brighton Kauma, the Global Director of the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network of Youth. He's a prominent youth activist, and he's a social entrepreneur from Zambia. He has a vast track record of leadership experience working across the intersection of sustainable development, corporate sustainability, business development, communications, and youth empowerment in more than 20 countries on 4 continents. Thank you, Mr. Kauma, for joining us. Next, we have Mr. Callum Hanforth, who's the advisor of the Digital Health and Smart Cities UNDP Global Center for Technology, Innovation, and Sustainable Development. And he also has led innovation, digitalization, and smart city programs around the world. Mr. Callum, if you'd like to make a short remark and say hello to the champions, please, you have the floor now.
Thanks, Jenny. Hi, everyone. Good morning from Singapore. It's a real privilege and honor to be here, and very much looking forward to learning from you all and listening to your presentations.
Great. Thank you, Colin, again for being here and for your time. Now we have Ms. Gina Bok, who was also our valuable expert at Workshop 1. She's the bidding manager and a project coordinator for business development of TOA Engineering, and she has experience of around 9 years in developing business in international infrastructure projects. And she's currently working for Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the Middle East for consulting services, especially in relation to various international donor and multilateral and bilateral development banks. Thank you again, Ms. Bok, for your presence and for your participation as the judge. If you'd also like to make a quick remark, you have the floor.
Hello. Good morning, and it's very happy to see you again, and thanks again for giving this opportunity to support this WeGO Championship. And last month, I assume that you all was not an easy time you spent to develop the proposal. However, I wish you were able to make some great progress to express what you have in your mind. Thank you very much for seeing me again. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much again, Ms. Bok. And on behalf of WeGO Secretariat, we have Ms. Umbiarcho. She's the head of program department here at WeGO, and she will be present as well to contribute to the evaluation process. Thank you once again very much to all of our judges who are present here. Now I'd like to quickly go over the agenda for today's semifinals. For the first session, we will have all 20 teams present their solutions for a total. This time, our judges will carefully evaluate your presentations, and afterwards, the judges will each provide their remarks, and they will provide their insights, overall feedback, and expectations for the champions and for the finals as well. So after careful review and internal assessment, we will announce the finalists today during the closing session. So let us get started. And before we begin the first session, I would like to invite the Secretariat General of WeGO, who would like to just share a couple of remarks and maybe wish you good luck. So Secretary General Park, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much for Jenny introduce me. Good morning, everyone, how are you? I hope you have a great morning and today. And actually, welcome to the WeGO Champion semifinal. At last, it's a semifinal days. I would like to thank all of you because you went through all coursework, 6 conceptual foundation lecture series and workshop and presentation and submission of your proposal. I really proud of you, all of you, and also I'd like to remind you this WeGO Smart City Champion program will be developed into an annual program. So some of you might not get into the final, but you can get more opportunity to get another challenge. So I think you will have more opportunity to enhance your idea and understanding around the smart city. So and before we begin, I would like today's judge to participate in this WeGO Champion program, and also your inspiration for our WeGO Champion will be a great opportunity to understand the smart city and to develop their idea. And I hope you had a wonderful experience for this program, and also you have a great teamwork through this WeGO Smart City Champions. So I am looking forward to how you have worked together in improving your idea, and I wish best of good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary General Park, for your remarks. Now, without further ado, let us start with the presentations. And as you know, prior to today's event, you've received guidance notes on presentation expectations as well as the order. As mentioned before, each team will have 5 minutes to present, in which one member of the team is required to share their screen to display their presentation materials. We ask you to kindly respect the time so that everyone can have an equal opportunity. And similar to workshop 1, where you made your proposal pitches, the Secretariat will inform you to wrap up when the time is up. To clarify, the order of presentations here that you see on the screen have been flipped from workshop 1, in which teams made their pitches. And after part 1 teams present, we'll have a quick 5-minute break before proceeding to part 2 team presentations. So let's begin with the presentations. Let's start with 990102. You have the floor.
Good morning. First of all, it's an honor to participate in the semifinal. I'm Minja Kim, a member of the 990102 team. In Korea, drones are used only for simple technologies such as photography and agriculture. And recently, they have been grabbed into the security area. On the other hand, our group focused on the activation of security drones. The law about drones are enacted in 2020. As you can see, it is new for us. Police and fire departments are using drones. As you can see from article, the police drones searched for missing climber in mountain. However, this is used only in limited areas such as that. So we considered building a platform for civilian, military, fire departments, and police to cooperate as an alternative. If we create a platform where the private sector and they can cooperate, we will be able to take prompt action with the drones we already have, which will lead to safety of our citizens. In addition, there is a shortage of experts to revitalize the drone industry compared to other industrial sectors. What makes it difficult for the drone industry to be used daily is that the Aviation Administration, not the National Police Agency, has administrative authority to grant full qualified permits. And since 2016, drones have been used for investigation, but the scale of security drones is still small. We think through PPAP, it will be able to create a collaborative project in which public organizations, schools, and companies participate together and to build the business model that everyone wins. Hanse Drone Academy is already working with the Ministry of Land Infrastructure and Transport and the Korea Transportation Safety Authority. If we cooperate with the police, fire departments, and national defense, we will be able to train more professional human resources. The citizens' perception of drones is also not good due to privacy violations. So we need to solve ethical problems. In order to reinvigorate the drone industry and solve ethical problems, we think a new drone industry promotion agency is needed. This will solve the problem systemically. CCTV was not recognized well at first. However, I think the reliability is now firm to the extent that it is installed partly for security purposes. Drones also need to promote activities to improve public awareness. For example, when people know about the Women's Safe Return Home service, drones take women home, and drone surely don't accompany them, but they observe them in the same time in the control room. And we think it will be helpful to experience drones directly using the drone classes we are visited, and to make them realize that drones are safe. The drone law have to include the guidelines for surveillance cameras to strengthen privacy protection and installations of a parachute in a case of drone crisis. Developing a technology that can identify drones wirelessly when a crime occurs, it will be able to take action quickly and bring about a change in public perception in a good way. While the United States is pursuing smart innovation technology policies that pursue the development of the drone industry, Britain and Europe are based on wise innovation technology that pursues human safety and happiness rather than drone technology. Korea also needs a lot of attention about it so that drone and citizens can grow together. That brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And I know going first has been a little bit burdensome, but that was very insightful. So thank you again to your team. Maybe we can have, great, thank you. Next up, we have the second team, which is KPA. So if you can kindly share your screen and be ready to present, that'd be great. Thank you.
Hello everyone, we are K-pop team from Kookmin University. Our team has been doing the project with the theme of social value and smart city. So far, smart city has been created to focus on technology. From now on, smart city should also focus on social value. It made ESG management to become a hot topic today. ESG management cares environment, social value, and governance. Among them, our team wants to focus on social value especially. The following illustrates the outline of our team project. Our team core mission is to achieve social value, and we use community mapping as its primary tool. In addition, we carried out the project by adopting smart blog and smartphone education as additional tools. Through this, our team wants to realize a smart city for everyone. Our team selected the project target for disabled and older people. What they have in common is transportation vulnerable. Transportation vulnerable is a person whose physical or cognitive functions are weaker than others when using transportation or walking on the road. Why should we protect these people? The barriers we face in our daily lives and what transportation vulnerable face are not that different. Our team focused on the mobility of people. Most of the transportation vulnerable use a wheelchair, and however, it is not that different from the cart, strollers, and walking stick that we often use. Our team made a video based on the project that we did in WeGO Champions by using Metabus. Please enjoy. Hello everyone, thank you so much for your interest in Smart City. I will explain to you about our activities that we have made effort to create a sustainable smart city.
I'm sorry, Sungjun, I don't think we can actually see the video.
Separately. Shall we go to the exhibit? Pardon?
Sorry, I don't think we can see the video. You may need to share another window, if I'm correct.
Sorry, wait a minute, please.
Of course.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for your interest in Smart City. I will explain to you about our activities that we have made effort to create a sustainable smart city. As I said before, our creator will explain the parts separately. Shall we go to the exhibition now?
Hello,
Sorry, wait, sorry. Our team has why play video. We have some errors, so videos skip and going volunteer. I may have volunteer.
sorry, time's up. Please wrap up in 10
Building smart
seconds.
city for the transportation vulnerable is consistent with the goal of WeGo, which is to pursue a sustainable smart city. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I understand there was a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we'll take that into consideration. Great, thank you so much. Next, we have Disney Princess on the Run. If you're ready to share your screen, please feel free to do so. Also, if KPA can stop sharing their screen so that the next presenter can also access this function, that would be great. Thank you.
Hello, friends. We are very proud to be here to present our project Underground Logistics. We will be divided into 5 parts as follows. The first part, team introduction. I'm Wan Tinghe from the Disney Princess on the Run team, and these are my team members. And we are from Chengdu New South University in China. Part 2, project background. Chengdu faces intense traffic pressure, high accident rates, and congested logistics. Look at the two statistical graphs. In Chengdu, the logistics business value has accumulated over 1.8 billion pieces per year, and the rapid development has also cost a lot of transportation, labor, and money. In addition, with 6.33 million motor vehicles, Chengdu is the second largest city in China after Beijing, so the traffic pressure cannot be ignored. Based on the situation, we propose the construction of underground logistics. The third part is project analysis. The above-ground rail logistics can be completely connected to the underground pipeline logistics. The system is also designed according to the concept of joint operation of above-ground and underground dual systems, which is 90% more energy efficient than traditional logistics. Intelligent distribution, precise trade, and non-manual automatic delivery to households, making it a more perfect and ideal solution. Secondly, we believe that compared to traditional above-ground logistics systems, underground logistics systems have the following advantages: reduce loose goods, reduce ground traffic congestion, more energy saving through electric power, 24 hours a day, transport goods more quickly. Of course, there are also some disadvantages. Enterprises' lack of understanding of the concept of logistics, lack of senior management personnel, the degree of informatization is not high, institutional deficiencies. The fourth part, project method. We also interviewed some experts for our project. The first is Wang Yunyao, the second is Huang Yanran, the third is Wu Jianhua. Let's see what they say.
针对成都想建设地下物流的想法，我认为有以下几点需要考虑。第一，成都要建设地下物流，需要在全国一盘棋的基础上，从顶层开始设计，成都可以作为试点推广。第二，地下物流需要做好环境影响评价，充分考虑建设对环境产生的影响。
因为我们做这个地下物流和地上物流的一个结合，主要是基于区分城内和城外的这个运输的概念下面，把城外的货物通过铁路、公路、水路和航空运输的方式送到城市边缘处的这个物流园区，然后经过处理后，由我们的物流园区通过地下物流系统配送到各个终端。
There's no special law on underground space at the national level. These years, the development of underground space is encouraged by national policies. Big cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, and Zhejiang have begun to support the development of underground space. National laws and regulations need to be gradually improved in the construction process to guarantee the construction of underground logistics systems so that there are laws to follow.
Last part, project summary. In recent years, more and more attention has been paid to the study of underground logistics. It has breathed life into the city. We believe that one day the underground logistics project is no longer an idea, and we also look forward to the real arrival of the area of underground logistics. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Great. Thank you so much, Disney Princess on a Run. That was a very insightful presentation. I'd like to also remind all the presenters to turn on your cameras so that we can spotlight you when you're presenting. And another reminder is to ensure that you mute your microphones when you're not presenting so that it's not disruptive to the presenters. Great. Thank you so much. Now we'll have the next team, Achilles, to present. Please feel free to share your screen.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our presentation is Smart in Emergency. Smart in Emergency is the research on strategy to build a smart emergency platform in order to minimize the patient's waiting time and save their lives. So as you can see, this is our program overview. And yes, we are Achilles. This is our team introduction. My presentation today is divided into 4 parts: program background, problems, status quo and outcome, and solutions. So let's get started with the part 1. In China, every year, tens of thousands of patients lose their lives because they didn't get efficient rescue with the golden time. Particularly under COVID-19 pandemic, the emergency system and the green channel are facing big problem. So here we got some innovation. As you can see from the screen, we found out that the previous researchers mainly focused on the topics like healthcare science, geography, environmental sciences, and so on. So we got the innovation of combining the new researching method and the smart emergency platform together. What's more, apart from Chengdu, our project can be implemented to elsewhere like Korea, Africa, and so on. So let's move on to the part 2, the problems and status quo. In this part, we did some survey and questionnaire. In the expert questionnaires, the doctor said that it takes about 7 to 10 minutes, which is out of the golden time, for the patient to be picked up by the ambulance. And the traffic congestion is the biggest problem on the road. And in the resident questionnaire, we got the answer that more people think it is very necessary to set up community rescue site. So now we know the problem. Let's move on to, this is some pictures during our survey. We used the drone to take some pictures. And the next part is our is the status quo and our outcomes. So this part we analyzed the current situation of the emergency in Chenhua district by using the researching method. As you can see, the 2-step floating catchment area. Do you notice the blue area on the map? It represents that the western side of the Chenhua has the poorer rescue resources than that area in the west. And on the right, we can see there are some letter like H on the map. This represents that we have 7 hospitals in Chenhua district, and the little dots represent the over 100 communities. So we conclude that if you want to build a hospital, you should consider the distribution of the communities around that place. So now I'm sure you know more about what is the emergency level like in Chenhua district. So we're going to propose some solutions right now.
Firstly, we will construct the smart emergency system, including smart route, smart supervision, smart procedure, smart rescue, and smart ambulance. Furthermore, we're gonna make a smart app. It is like a Uber actually. As you can see from the pictures on the screen, if upon the driver, you can see the picture. Yeah, this is our driver. If the driver receives the call from the patients, he will choose the best route. As you can see from the picture, this is the best route, and then go to set out for rescue via the green channel. This is the green channel, and then arrive at the first aid sites in the community. So this is our outcome and our solutions. So to wrap up, our projects optimize the emergency platform by building green channel and community rescue sites. We hope we can take this opportunity to save more people's life. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Achilles, and thank you for being punctual with your time. Next up, we have Standard, who will present next. And so if you can kindly share your screens. Great.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Priscilla, representing Team Standard AI-enabled mobile application, A Lot Smarter. We are 5 students from South Korea, with Eunjin, Jiwon, and Soyoung, Felix from Switzerland, and myself from France. We take pride in our cultural, academic, and professional diversity, allowing us to be young leaders in suggesting a tech-driven solution to urban flow management and parking-related issues. More particularly, we focused our efforts on thinking about how to resolve the issue of fighting parking in cities caused by the increased use of cars in urban spaces with a disproportional increase of parking spots and/or limited information about parking availability, which all cause multiple urban problems from car accidents to time, energy loss, air pollution, and so on. With this in mind, we suggest an AI-enabled smart parking mobile application to assist drivers to find parking spots. Our project started off with Seoul, which experienced unsustainable urban growth and the inefficient use of parking space despite government efforts, further resulting in 20% increase of illegal parking complaints between 2018 to 2021. We conducted a short online survey in order to listen to Seoul drivers. Half of respondents tried existing smart parking application, Modu Parking and High Parking, for which 61% rated their mobile experience as bad. Digging a bit more into the prior art, we found that reviews on Google Play Store and App Store confirmed the prior criticism of our respondents, pointing out at not only technical issues, but also poor parking recommendations, driving users to far distant parking locations, and making them pay upfront fees subscriptions. Thus, a lot smarter mobile application attempts to improve urban traffic flow management, optimize the use of urban parking spaces, upgrade parking infrastructures, and adopt clean technologies, create decent jobs, and promote economic growth, and last but not least, facilitate partnerships with smart city stakeholders. Our smart parking mobile application provides 2 types of driver to parking spot matching options. One manual, for which the app suggests parking lots by showing the best option fits to the driver, who inputs his own preferences when setting up an account on this app, which could be pricing, distance, slot size, and even EV power station. The second option being an automatic matching, just like the love matching app Tinder, where the previous preferential inputs of the driver match automatically with a parking spot by utilizing AI and real-time information provided by the parking service providers. Pricing can be flexible and is determined by the parking provider, while standard, the team takes 5% of each match. Now, let me go briefly over the technical aspect of the app. It utilizes AI and real-time big data from public and private clouds that is acquired through CCTV and sensor technology, already present in most public and private parking infrastructures in Seoul. This app is developed on Apache Cordova, allowing its usage on both iOS and Android devices. With AI and big data, parking service providers can inform of parking state of the art to drivers in a real-time manner. As such, the project is implemented on 3 levels: the driver, middleman, here cloud and processing unit, and the parking service provider equipped with sensors and CCTV technology. As for the business model, we anticipate the participation of both public and private parking service providers, allowing a public-private partnership by giving incentive to Seoul government to address the current parking issue, but also getting additional funding from the private sector, which will allow us to meet higher feasibility in terms of project funding and implementation, but also leaving more options to overseas expansion and replicability. Both combining the benefits of market-driven monetization and social value maximization, and of course, aligning with Objective 5 to facilitate partnership among smart city stakeholders. We've conducted a scenario analysis by thinking about different scenarios where the best case scenario is where the driver uses the app, gets matched with a parking service provider who's agreed to use our matching services, resulting in the maximization of urban parking spaces. At the contrary, the worst case scenario lies on where neither the driver nor the parking service provider uses the app, just like before the market entry of the app, which then requires an incentive model and marketing strategy for all actors to use our matching services. We've also conducted a cost-benefit analysis thinking about who are the beneficiaries, here being the drivers, public and private parking providers, AI and IoT experts, the government and society. Impacts align with our project objectives, but also take into consideration revenue surpluses, not only for our team and parking providers, but also the government who may harvest tax revenues.
Time's up. Please wrap up in 10 seconds. Thank you.
Yes. And I won't go into much detail for the sake of time, but we suggest a high cost and low cost scenario-based CBA with a couple of assumptions and estimated the net costs and benefits of the project before launching and after launching for a year, considering the app development, maintenance cost, fuel and time savings, revenues, and carbon emissions, arriving at the final estimation of a net benefit of $5,000 million. And lastly, in order to monitor and evaluate the project outcomes, we've selected a couple of indicators closely monitored by a data center run by at least 2 data analysts who are connected to the clouds. Those are, we have our references after this. And this concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Great, thank you so much, Standard, for your presentation. And now we'll proceed immediately to WeGO. Please feel free to share your screen.
Hello, this is WeGO team, and we are presenting Bright Market. Smart cities are the future of urban development where everything we do is digitally interconnected. However, it brings a variety of problems, one of which is abandoning of traditional markets due to development of dark stores. Dark stores are delivery service with the concept of supermarket for courier. Because of this threat, traditional markets started to become less popular, which leads to the need of redevelopment of those areas. However, conventional ways of revitalizing makes markets disappear due to its ground inefficiency and problems of smell and food safety. Despite that, traditional markets have many important features such as traditions, face-to-face communication, atmosphere, and activation of local businesses. So we suggest a few ways to benefit from revitalization of traditional markets in the smart cities with modern technologies. Starting from online infrastructure, we consider the direction of using metaverse to increase public interest in traditional markets and to revitalize existing offline market spaces. We suggest an alternative to current online platforms that instead of serving corporations would bring high-quality digital services to small businesses who otherwise would not afford it. This feature would bring collaboration between offline merchants and sellers in the metaverse. Then pop-up stores would be coordinated through the platforms into traditional markets, so designers and artists have the opportunity to sell or exhibit offline. Expected effect of metaverse twin markets are supply of variety of for sale, which attracts a variety of user groups. Together, it stimulates growing interest in the market and the development of new markets. Another feature we suggest is a walk score. It is a method of data collection for improving the market environment. The score can be divided into two parts, environment score and relationship score. The former indicates how pleasant the marketplace is, and the latter indicates customer satisfaction. The score can be layered on the top of the current smartphone map service layer. It would be a useful data collecting system, indication at the same time to foster a better environment for traditional markets. Collection of data by evaluating system allows to define primary issues of particular area, which would help to create a more comfortable environment. The app improves and optimizes pedestrian experience, which in turn is expected to attract interest in the area. With the increased attention and traffic, the local authorities are very likely to invest in the area. Two strategies are required in order to create a walkable city. First is to change the pre-existing unsanitary market and develop it into a sanitary renewed version. Better management of food waste and spoiled products are the main ways of achieving that goal. Second is create a market space for community exchange. To achieve that, it requires a formal environment for the local community to be able to exchange and engage in activities such as workshops, flea markets, and communal events run by residents. It will be possible to use the information based on the applications and will be able to understand events happening in real time. In the existing Chongmiri market, a parking space was created in the wide main street, which wasn't allowed to walk freely by citizens accessing the area due to vehicles. Therefore, for accessibility and comfort, we are going to remove parking lots and create a walking-oriented markets experience. As a logistics system went underground, vehicles and trucks supplied to the market don't need to be parked on the ground. Using the underground logistics system, the store's inventory can be located underground, reducing the area of the store. Through the service that delivers goods immediately after seeing them in the market, citizens gradually stop coming to the market with cars, and naturally the need for parking lots disappear. We implement smart logistics in two main ways. First one is delivery algorithm, matching the right delivery person with the best route using big data, delivery faster and more convenient. Second is footwall R method. Both are smart logistic technologies with automated packing technology. Effective and accurate logistics system can be established with the method introduced in Amazon. Following, we expected that firstly, smart logistics, by turning the existing traditional market into a logistic hub, space efficiency can be improved and the cost of building a new dedicated center can be saved. And more effective logistics system can be established using smart management technology. Secondly, parking. Smart underground logistics can reduce the number of vehicles on the ground. Then a more pleasant environment can be created and a space that wasn't utilized due to the parking space can be more efficient. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, WeGO. Now we'll move on to Baker's Club. If you can share your screen and make sure that your camera is on when you're presenting.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Chen from Team Baker's Club. First, I want to appreciate all the experts, professors, and all the staff of WeGO. We have learned a lot during this period, and this is a photo of our group. And now I have the presentation. We use the diagram to explain our proposal. Chengdu is the first place to implement the concept of park city. As a park city, it should have at least two characteristics. The first is it will improve the quality of the whole people's life. And the second is a system to bring ecology to the city. Metaverse improves the quality of the whole people's life in park cities construction, while blockchain technology can decentralize the city's park system and form a park community network that is safe, smart, and easy to manage and supervise. So considering the background of the metaverse and based on the blockchain technology, we bring forward a scheme for the design of smart park community. And overall plan is divided into 5 steps. The first is to build a blockchain network. The second is to establish and improve the self-operating network system to realize the park's own information monitoring and energy circulation. The next step is to further transform the park through smart technology and implant the metaverse place to make up for the defects and deficiencies in the traditional park and further optimize the park system. So in response to the above, we propose 4 strategies for the construction of park communities. Through a lot of field visits and interviews, we found that for middle-aged and elderly people who often come to parks to walk with their children, they're concerned more about the safety of epidemic prevention facilities and personnel during the epidemic situation. What's more, they are interested in using park to get a natural education to their children. For young people who often come to the park to exercise, they pay more attention to whether the park has abundant sports facilities and recreational facilities, whether the park is interactive, and whether the landscape is neutral and special. In addition, we also conducted interviews with relevant park managers and urbanists for them how to improve management efficiency and allow residents to participate in management is the topic they are more interested in. This is a general layout of Chengdu Shengden Park. Through the investigation and interview, we find some solutions and put them into the park. First, we can monitor the growth of plants in the park through the intelligent management system, and we can water the plant in instant feedback and have operations like ecological maintenance and microclimate adjustment. And the second, the attraction of the park's vitality can be enhanced with the injection of smart facility elements. For example, we can use AR cell phones to punch in with augmented reality. We can arrange the tape lights that can be changed with the park music, weather, and time in ear corridor. In the zone covered with 5G network, we can set up running speed to record the smart track and mileage, and intelligent interactive facilities that can generate electricity through bicycle, ring pooling, and other sports and support facilities that can carry out media and live broadcast on the corridor platform. And this is the app we designed to improve the safety and reliability of the park through intelligent parking, intelligent epidemic prevention and control, intelligent facility search. Through this app, like the picture show, you can directly find the facilities you need and conduct navigation, real-time monitoring through the monitoring point, crowd temperature, health code, and ID card, epidemic prevention and personal security monitoring in the park. Build a small universe of nature through VR, 3D screen, and so on. Teach children nature in the intelligence maze. And because of the decentralization of blockchain technology and effective of the smart park for residents to visit and monitor. Finally, in the context of the metaverse, to achieve the integration of wisdom and park, wisdom and sports, wisdom and management, and to design a smart, livable, dynamic, safe smart park, we can take the blockchain as technique
please wrap up in 10
to
seconds.
construct
Thank
a
you.
wisdom, security, high efficiency park community network in the park city. And that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for wrapping up, and thank you for an insightful presentation. Next up, we have CDUT Warriors. If you can share your screens, that'd be great.
Here to speak on behalf of our team, CDUT Warriors. In the first set of slides, we reviewed the background. Influenced by the terrain of Sichuan Basin, Chengdu has low average wind speed for many years, which is also an important reason for hazing phenomenon and urban heat island effect. The second part, we talk about our indicator system. We have established a comprehensive evaluation index system of wind environment adaptation in the study area, which serves as the basis of microclimate adaptation ventilation design. Next slide. Our index system are based on a triadic 3 and 8 principles. The former divides microclimate into physical, physiological, and psychological levels, while the latter is beneficial to the determination of evaluation index system into 3 parts, which are target layer, current layer, and index layer. Thirdly, we talk about the current investigation. We first carried out a field survey of the case area, namely eastern suburb memory. We analyzed the road, building height, solid and void space, part of vegetation, and part of urban furniture in the case areas. Then we use phonics to simulate the wind environmental at 10 meters and 1.5 meters height in the case area. At the same time, we divide the public space inside the case area into 10 points, analyze the relationship between human feelings and wind environment indicators by questionnaire. To solve the ventilation while meeting the landscape needs, we propose the conception aero urban furnitures. Firstly, we think the whole street as a building combined with geothermal heat pump. At the same time, reverse unpowered hoods and suction holes are set up on the buildings or street. It incorporates provenience wind into the duct and maximize the wind speed through the ventral effect. Then the air is sent to the branch pipe through the main pipe. The turbine in the branch pipe intelligently supplies the wind according to the current wind speed. Then the wind finally supplied through the furniture. In this way, the turbine unit is not only rotated by electricity, but also the wind. At the same time, the land is natural thermal insulation layer, so the air are also transferring the temperature, which build a warm winter and a cool summer. As an important linear element of the block, street lights are one of our main focus. For different street forms, we create a static wind toolbox for different ventilation street lights. Now, we took one of aerial urban furniture as a case of thinking. When the wind enters the air inlet, it will drive the anemometer to rotate and transmit the current wind speed data to the terminal, and the terminal transmits commands to the turbine to change the rotation speed to suitably speed up the wind. The ammeter transmits the feedback to the terminal and share the data through the cloud platform. All in all, the form may change, but the pattern remains. With the help of geothermal heat pump and the model of monitoring regulation feedback cloud platform, the wind supplement of different urban furnitures in different pub space can be realized. We have completed all the preliminary investigation and part of installation design, and the next stage will be the combination of wind environment installation and public space art design. Next, we expect to build and complete a piping system by Internet of Things Vision digital twin platform based on Things.js, which enables managers to monitor and manage terminals online and intelligently control urban wind speed. Thanks, that's all.
Great, thank you. I think you just made it on time. Thanks so much. Now we have our last presenter of part 1, which is Bright. So Bright, teams, if you're ready, you can present now.
Hello, we're Bright, and we're here to present to you today on a solution which anonymizes transportation footage collection with relevant metaverse applications. Traditionally, public transportation camera data has been observed manually or with otherwise very basic processing. The essential problem here is that human intervention is required to analyze the relevant data. Many machine learning methods have previously been developed to automate the analysis of audiovisual data, but measures that anonymize data in respect to relevant privacy restrictions have been underdeveloped. In Korea specifically, different kinds of data, as categorized by how public the data is deemed to be, require different standards in whether consent is required to access and analyze them. This means that audiovisual data collected in different contexts require different levels of anonymization processing. We would like to tackle the analysis of complex visual data, such as the footage of passengers using transportation systems in crowded conditions, in an efficient manner without compromising citizen privacy. In South Korea, most of the data collected by the government is publicly disclosed. South Korea has a fairly sophisticated legal support system, legal support of citizen privacy through the Personal Information Protection Act and other relevant policies. Government agencies are mostly able to collect and use such data without consent if it's for the public interest. The data categorized as personal requires explicit consent. In 2020, major amendments were made to South Korean privacy laws, which gave the government greater levels of access to different kinds of data. At the same time, the government has also strengthened relevant checks and balance mechanisms for protesting unconsensual use of data through centralizing the Personal Data Protection Commission's authority. In light of the pandemic, there have been many policy amendments regarding data privacy to allow the government to access personal data for contact tracing purposes. There has been a lot of popular support for these amendments, which may signal popular acceptance for more sophisticated smart city applications. We may expect there to be greater differentiation between kinds of data and the levels of consent they require as more of these measures get adopted over time.
Our solution employs metaverse as a service by using identifiable visual data protection with camera pre-processing filter. Can be used as a middleware to pre-process camera data for analysis. Here is a representation of our privacy protection methods that are used, which will of course take many forms. These methods of blurring physical features ensures that the picture cannot be manipulated back to its original format through image editing applications like Photoshop, as it renders all physical features unrecognizable. The primary idea adds a layer of protection for those whose data is being used. Of course, here's a few examples of what you can expect in the final result of our project. The first picture you see is a picture that already went through processing, of course, which blurs out easily recognizable features. The first photo is essentially an encrypted version and can go through the decryption process and revert back to the original photo, of course, which is the second picture, only via access from relevant authorities. Of course, our target use. This project also doesn't just blur facial features, but it will also provide benefits for blurring other factors such as vehicle registry documents, operational safety standards and records, in-flight transit audio footage, license plates, etc. Furthermore, and our target users for this project are, of course, operatives and local authorities who would benefit from less manpower spent in these aspects of safety control. No longer would authorities need to spend needless manpower looking through and anonymizing footage, reducing financial burdens on their part of the bargain. However, we also have indirect beneficiaries as well, who are commuters and citizens that take public transport regularly. The modern paranoia of someone looking over you through CCTV footage is by no means new, and implementing and making our idea public can foster greater civic trust through automatic footage encryption, where these stakeholders can be certain that their private information isn't misused. This is our team. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the presentation. We hope that you have a lovely day.
Great, thank you so much, Bright. Now, I think that marks the end of the first batch of presenters, so great job to the first batch and the teams. We'll just have a quick 5-minute break, so feel free to grab some water, stretch a little bit, and please do return in 5 minutes. So that will be 11:13. Great, thank you so much. Great. I hope everyone is back and they enjoyed their breaks. If the presenters and judges are ready, and we can kindly mute if you're not presenting, that would be much appreciated. Let's resume with part 2 presentations. So first up for batch 2 presenters, we have 참잘하죠. So if you're ready and if you're here, let's resume with the presentations, and please feel free to share your screens. Hi, is the presenter for 참잘하죠 here? I believe he is, but if you're ready, we can resume with the presentations.
Hello, can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry I missed the PPT. We are conducting research on reducing regional gaps using technology. This is because the gap between regions continues, widening the population gap and further lagging the country. In 2019, the population of Korea's metropolitan area exceeded 50% of the country, and 75% of non-metropolitan areas are experiencing population decline. Why is the regional gap occurring? When I investigated the cause of the regional gap, the first thing that came up was the job problem. As the proportion of office workers and service workers increased, regions that rely on the manufacturing industry are having difficulty creating alternative jobs. Job changes and gaps cause population movement. The second cause is the transportation system. Differences in transportation services cause differences in access time to facilities. In fact, using public transportation, large cities can access public facilities in 30 minutes, but farming and fishing villages take 75 minutes. We put together a number of domestic and international cases that observe these two products using technology. This allows you to offer the following alternative. The job role can be served by characterizing the geographical region, that is, clusters of new industries. In fact, Korea currently operates the world's largest offshore wind power plant in Sinan, and produces ultra-small electric cargo VA in Hongdong. Traffic system problems need to be approached differently by region. Large cities should secure urban railways and public transportation systems, while small and medium-sized cities should adjust existing public transportation routes to expand both business facility and inclusion. However, in rural areas, demand response transportation, as known as DRT, demand response transportation policy, may be proposed. It is a joint taxi method in which reservations are collected at intervals of several hours without a fixed route and several passengers are picked up. But it is more economical than bus service and it's well received. There are many other problems besides jobs and transportation systems, but the most important thing to keep in mind is that we have to take a different approach from region to region. Collective movement of urban goods to rural areas does not resolve regional gaps. It is hoped that it will be resolved in the direction of utilizing the unique values of the region according to each personality. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. I understand that no PPT was showing during your presentation, but if you do have a presentation material already, you can also share that with the WeGO Secretariat afterwards so that we can have more reference to your project.
Great, share later. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Next up, we have Moore, who will present. So please kindly share your screen. And looking forward to your presentation.
Hello. Can you?
Hi, we can hear you.
Hello, this is Team WeGO presenter Sumin Lee. The team project title is a sustainable management system of green roof by using metaverse. Our team consists of 5 Seoul National University graduate students. The project background we focus on is the green roof. The green roof has environmental benefits such as reducing the thermal environmental and reducing carbon in the city. The green roof is the easiest way to secure green space as an alternative to urban environmental problems. However, in Korea, the qualitative improvement of green roof has not been achieved due to the former creation of incentive for biddings. And more than 85% of citizens are interested in green rest area. This is representing the need for the green roof improvement. The green roof will be continuously expanded and applied. Internationally related policies are improving. Korea also needs to expand green space in a situation where green space is shrinking due to changing in urban land use policies. Therefore, we intend to utilize the metaverse to promote the qualitative improvement and quantitative expansion of the green roof. Metaverse collects data on the real environment and can be used as a connection platform. Among the 4 categories of the metaverse, we intend to utilize the mirror world, which makes a world that expands the information of the real world, and live logging, which capture reality and shared experience. As a result, we intend to build a sustainable green roof system by utilizing the metaverse to solve a physical problem of usability and the lack of management due to high cost. The metaverse platform system is divided into 2 aspects, the administrator and user side. Users share the current status of space through live logging, and administrator get information about the place through a platform. The project goals are centralized management through the green roof platform, microclimate data collection, green service increase, and public awareness improvement. For the project, a sensor capable of measuring environment data and the evaluation of this project is made by user in the platform. The final purpose of the project is expressed in 4 ways. First, data collection made open source. Third, management automation and cost reduction using sensor. Fourth, increase the use rate of citizens and raise awareness of the green loop. The business model is first, with the government support, the client create the green loop. The created green loop is managed with sensor data, and the platform with data provide operating costs through advertisement used by citizens. It uses sensor to collect soil, climate, and atmospheric data. It obtains real-time data from sensor and alert administrator when environmental data deviates from idle values. It helps establish management routine through data archiving. So user can identify the location of the green loop and record the space. In addition, user can communicate management issues through suggestion within the platform. Administrator can identify social issue based on user activities other than environmental data. This is final result for the green loop platform. Visually represent the collected environmental data for interpretation. Monitor the status of the green loop through real-time uploading information. In addition, the size and type of green loop are indicated on the map to increase the utilization of the green loop in the city. The green space within the city will be expanded by constructing a platform, which will naturally result in environmental improvement. It also socially expand public rest area for citizens and improve the urban landscape by changing the city atmosphere made by concrete. Thank you for listening to Tim Moore's presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Team Moore. Now we have Go Well team to present next. If you are ready, please feel free to share your screens.
Hello everyone, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Xiaolan Wen from Go Well team, and our proposal title is Parallel Community, a smart community building strategy based on metaverse technology in the post-epidemic era. And I'll introduce our proposal.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think your camera isn't on. If you can kindly turn on your camera so that we can see you presenting, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Just a second. So I'll start again.
Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Xiaolan Wen from Go Well team, and our proposal title is Parallel Community, a smart community building strategy based on metaverse technology in the post-epidemic era. And I'll introduce our proposal from the following 7 parts. First, this proposal aims to address the limitation of the closed-off management on the community, and we expect to reconstruct the community in 6 aspects. Here we proposed the concept of parallel community and constructed the N+1 floor model. In this model, several individual floors plus 1 public floor form a parallel community, and will take advantage of different technologies to improve these 6 aspects. Our main objective is to build the parallel correspondence of the metaverse space and the real space in the public floor. And we have 2 goals. One is to build a parallel community unit in real space, and the other is to build senses and characters corresponding to real space in virtual space. And 3 impacts are expected. 1, restore the freedom. 2, promote the construction of smart cities. And 3, provide reference for future community construction. And there are different specific targets for these aspects. First, for catering and shopping. And second, for infrastructure. And third is for delivery and property management. And fourth, for medical and healthcare. And then we come to education and office. There will be a visual platform and an intelligent environment. And the last is for information management. And based on different needs of the main population in our community, we designed 4 types of units. Except basic function in those yellow cubics, including disinfection, medical and healthcare, and so on. For the unit in which the single residents as main population, we took their special needs into consideration. The public floor and the resident floor are designed to cater their needs. Also, for double residents, including couples, partners, and good friends, there are special spaces and facilities for them too. And then is the unit for family with elder people. We introduced a safety monitor system and so on. And the last is the unit for family with children. We have daycare system, and we have daycare center, children's club, and so on. And the house type configuration of the parallel community adopts the installation and preparation method. Through the online platform, the residents can choose the house type independently. The options includes living room, bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen. And these are the living room we designed for single residents and double residents. For people living alone, the design mainly focuses on alleviating the loneliness. Therefore, a multi-display and interaction system is placed to facilitate the online interaction of people. And the living room is equipped with an intelligent interactive system to facilitate the sharing activities between 2 residents. And those are living rooms for family with children and family with the old. And in the bathroom unit design, we paid attention to the adjustability, the security, and the intelligent characteristics of furniture. And these are the bathrooms for families with children and families with the old. And the third is the kitchen we designed for these 4 groups of people. And lastly is the bedroom designed for the 4 groups. In addition to the private space of residents on each floor, the idle space is designed to implant smart facilities. And for the linking among different communities, we designed connecting corridors like this. And we also built an evaluation system for these 6 aspects. And there are a few different measurements in each aspect so that we can measure the practice of our proposal statistically. And that's all. Thanks for watching.
Great, thank you so much for your presentation and for wrapping up. Now we'll have Citypedia to go next. If the team can also share your screens.
Hello, everyone. Today, the Citypedia team will introduce the Life Circus project to you. Citypedia dedicates itself to providing a sustainable park, an innovative dev, and a decentralized autonomous organization society for everyone. The global pandemic has greatly challenged people's understanding towards their daily life. According to WHO, the COVID-19 led to more than 40.9 million deaths in 2020 and 2021, which leaves people with anxiety and distress. Since humans rarely contemplate death, the most common response is fear. One of the ways is to display death anxiety is avoidance. Many people feel grave following a loss. I'm sorry.
Would you like to share your screen again?
Okay, can you see?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Okay, since the human rarely contemplate death, the most common response is fear. One of the ways is to display death is anxiety, is avoidance. Many people also feel brave following a loss, and after it may prolong with the expression of intense feeling of loneliness, guilty, and overwhelming. Besides, the extent of the inheritance or heritage is important to find a new connection between the living and the deceased. The method of promoting the culture of death is educating realism peers and the relatives plan and developing the environmental sustainability. Thus, we put forward a sustainable park, which serves both psychological and social purpose of regulating the new social relationships created by death. This slide shows the space sketch drawings. As we can see, there are the graveyard, waiting place, ceremony area, and the corpse treatment. Next is a function diagram. There are many 5 sites playing different roles in the park, and a small river connects them. Planting and animal breeding areas provide an environment for life education, where people can experience the meaning of life through real contact with nature and creatures. The dead are led to the rest in the graveyard in units of trees, symbolizing a living life. For relatives and friends, they can come to the private ceremony chapel and communicate with the dead quietly. Lastly, the visitor open exhibition hall will welcome everyone to visit the digital heritage of the deceased or join death activities. At the same time, based on the idea of Arweave, a Web3 blockchain to store file permanently, we create a Citypedia DApp to correspond with a sustainable park. This DApp is information permanent, sustainable, and can drive governance with high energy efficiency. And we build it with the JavaScript SDK, ROS SDK, and Citypedia wallet. The user of this app will have their own address and password. The users will firstly upload their files and specify the objective addresses. Then the file is locked by the objective's password, and the system will calculate the cost token based on the file size and create this smart contract. When the user passes away, the oracle will get the information based on the government website and conduct the smart contract. There are 3 main functions. First of all, it can commit the digital heritage or wills privately. Secondly, if the users send files to Citypedia to add, then they could enjoy our service set up in the museum, like sharing their digital heritage publicly. Thirdly, they could upload their data, which can be applied to generate a psychotherapy digital human in Metaverse if necessary. Except for those 3 functions, we also set up a DAO for users to share their ideas about death, to raise money, and to monitor and evaluate our death. Basically, about the Metaverse psychotherapy, we came up with ideas based on a product called Deadboard, which utilized the NLP technique to create the chatbots intimating the speaking way of the deceased. But considering the ethical issues in our DApp, after uploading the user's large number of social media data, we need the
please wrap up in 10 seconds.
diagnose
Thank
the
you.
candidates. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
Great, thank you so much, Citypedia, for your presentation. Next up, we have Effective Energy for Better Future. If you can share your screens and present, that would be great.
Good morning, Satan. Can you share the screen? Morning, everyone, expert panelists, other participating teams, all protocols duly observed. So today we have Team Effective Energy for Better Future, and I bring to you the flexible micro hydropower turbines as part of our project conception. This is our team here. I am the lead. We have Kevin Casello, who is going to take on the economics and business aspect later on. We have Todd Gerel, we have Sota Kyo and Azamat, a combination of experts in the energy sector all across the world. Next slide. So the main reason for the project background is due to high CO2 emissions in cities, which from studies worldwide, we know about 75% is generated, and alarming enough, by 2050, we expect that more than 70% of world populations would be in urban areas. Where you have CO2 emissions, of course, it's likely fossil fuel is the main culprit, and 65% of global electricity supply is fossil fuel is used in generating about 65% of global energy supply. Next slide. The peculiarity about all cities is that electricity utilized is mostly generated from a distance, and this is known in the power sector, which leads to transmission losses, cost of stepping up or down for local use. This brings about the need for smart cities or next-gen cities of the future to have sustainable, affordable, and clean electricity. Buildings have potentials to generate electricity from wastewater in pipes, which is key here, in addition to other parts like integrating solar windows and bladeless rooftop wind turbines. Next slide, please. So our key goals are to have a self-sufficient and sustainable city in terms of energy generation and energy usage in line with UN SDG 7, 11, and other global indexes, reduce CO2 emissions, and increase renewable energy generation from all aspects of cityscapes. Next slide. So this is the main concept of the proposal we have, and the system shows how water from drains and rainwaters are flowed down the waste drain pipes, and this in turn rotates the turbine, which I'm going to give you a more graphical representation in the next slide. After that, electricity is generated from the turbines, and then the electricity is sent into the energy management, consumption, storage, and all other ones. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. The system is entirely managed, can be managed and controlled by Internet of Things. I can't see your slide, Sota. With the use of smart homes or mobile phone apps, and this in turn has data which can subsequently be gathered for larger cityscape and subsequent project upscale. If you can go to slide 7, I would show you just a brief animation of how the system works when it's in action. So you can see the blue arrows actually show the flow of water, and the red arrow shows the flow of electricity. So the beauty about this system is that you can actually use it, you can upscale it not only in houses or in apartment complexes where we are looking at, but you can also use it at discharge points of major sewage treatment plants where you have discharge to the rivers. As a major feedback, we also took slide 8. As a major feedback, we also took some of the feedbacks given from the previous sessions, and then we incorporated some other technologies like the solar windows, the rooftop bladeless turbines, and also your electric vehicle to grid. And with that, we intend to make it a holistic and robust smart eco energy landscape. We can see from slide 8, that is what we are intending to do. And when it comes to the metaverse aspect of it, we all know that energy is an enabler to the metaverse. Obviously, we partly coined that phrase because we went through the search engines and we couldn't find anything. So in reality, the metaverse will increase energy consumption in the long run and due to a number of gadgets and data centers. So our project will increase.
Please wrap up in 10 seconds. Thank you.
Oh, Kevin, can you go to the second aspect, please?
Okay, slide 10, please, Sota. So I just wrap up this. The last part we have, table 1, is we are trying to get the consumption from all the buildings. So table 2, we can see in our model, the energy generated from our turbine is around 10,000 kilowatts. Next slide, please. From this, the data we got from our dormitory is that table 2, we are able to see the energy generated from our turbine is 10,000, and table 4, we can be able to see we have the cost and the revenue generated from this will be $12,000, and the profit will be around 3,400, and the ROE is 37,000. 37%, which is very high compared to other businesses. So if we can extrapolate this to all the buildings in the city, then we sure this model will be very, very, very attractive. Next slide, please. In conclusion, we can say that from our model, then we are able to show that our technology will be able to reduce peak demand, secure electricity supply, and create revenue. Next slide, please. Yeah, that is our team, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much for your presentation. I do want to kindly remind all the teams to stay within the time limit, as I mentioned, for the equality of all the teams and for equal opportunity. So thank you for your understanding. Next up, we have ESC, who will present. Great.
Hello, our team will suggest a subway station with piezoelectric harvesting technology. Our team consists of me, Seoyeon, Dongjun, Hyungmin, and Hee. The reason why we started this project was seriousness of climate change. I'm sure everyone here has experienced this. The sudden downfall and heavy snowfall indicate our example. Also, think about it. Korea was a country with 4 distinct seasons, but what about now? When is summer start and when is summer start? The seriousness of this climate change can also be seen in WMO's announcement. According to their announcement, greenhouse gas concentration and sea level rise, sea temperature, and ocean acidity, which show the seriousness of climate change, hit all-time high in 2021. In addition, the average sea level rise for 8 years from 2030 to 2021 is more than twice as high as the average sea level rise from 1993 to 2002. What happens if this continues? The Earth that environment expert want is going to be our reality, when most of the continent submerged in the sea. The main cause of this climate change is green gas, and many countries are trying to reduce this green gas, like a Paris Agreement and the Declaration of Carbon Neutrality. Then we have this question: does carbon neutrality have something to do with greenhouse gas? There are 6 major green gas in the PPT. If you look at the component of the gas that make the green gas, you can see that full gas contain carbon. In other words, in order to reduce green gas, we have to reduce carbon. So many countries are paying attention to renewable energy that can produce energy with carbon, without carbon, such as solar and wind power. Our team wants to join this global trend, and instead of just focusing on producing energy, we want to be with the citizen in producing energy. As a result, we are paying attention to piezoelectric harvesting. What is the piezoelectric harvesting? This is a technology to harvest and use kinetic energy generated by pressure or vibration. This technology is used in many countries. In the case of Korea, a baseball game machine using piezoelectric harvesting was built in Busan, and Japan installed a power generation floor at the Tokyo station. Also, Netherlands used the technology for clubs. We devised a plan to introduce piezoelectric harvesting technology applied in various countries to subway station and target Gangnam Station, one of the most popular subway stations in Seoul. In the case of Gangnam Station, there are 6 escalators. We plan to install a total of 20 piezoelectric power generation systems near each escalator, assuming that the power generation system produces up to 5 volts of power for tile. The amount of power produced per escalator for a day is the amount of power the escalator can operate for up to 50 days on 8-hour base. Team ESC exports the project to have the following effect. First, it increased the efficiency of energy utilization by replacing electric energy used in existing subway stations. Second, it contributes to efforts to realize carbon neutrality around the world, including Seoul. Third, it induces citizen participation and make them contribute to energy conservation. Fourth, through successful project implementation, the application case of piezoelectric harvesting are further increased. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much for this concise presentation. Next up, we have Smile, who will present. If you can share your screen, Jason. Yes, great, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Can you see the full screen?
Now we can see the full screen, yes.
Great, okay. Okay. Apologies, I'm still setting up. Don't start the clock yet. All right, good morning, everyone. I am delighted to be presenting our proposal to you on behalf of Team Smile, which includes Helen, Soyun, Ujay, Sarah, and myself. My name is Jason, and thank you all for your consideration. Smile aims to become the Airbnb of EV charging. With the projected increase of EV and self-driving vehicles, we believe that EV readiness should no longer be about why or when. The question should be, what opportunities does it provide? Our goal is to disrupt the vehicular fueling industry by proposing a smart grassroots-led EV charging network that uses renewable energy produced by local businesses and residents in combination with the national power grid. Our mission is to empower communities to actively engage in and benefit from the creation of an inclusive, transparent, and decentralized fueling network, one where everyone will have the opportunity to become a prosumer and directly benefit from the current industrial and EV revolution. Through GIS data, we can identify that Seoul has the most number of EV charging locations. Numbers significantly reduces in smaller cities, peri-urban and rural areas due to a lower number of EVs. Paradoxically, we can also identify that EV adoption rate is lower in those areas due to a lack of EV infrastructure. We have used Gangwon-do to cite our project as we believe it is the most vulnerable region due to this dramatic influx of tourist population. Subsequently, we have identified 3 key issues with the current EV charging strategies: regional imbalance to the rollout of EV charging, potentially exacerbating existing socio-economic issues, a risk of electrical grid overload, and a lack of regional data that impedes on the adoption of smart technology. Our approach is to install solar panels, power storage, and charging capabilities to existing properties to build an EV network for level 2 charging. Our platform facilitates the smart management of electrical exchanges between supply and demand by combining V2G and B2G systems. These are systems that allow plug-in vehicles and buildings to communicate with the power grid. From the participants' perspective, their excess electrical capacity can be sold on to the EV drivers or back to the grid. We have targeted level 2 charging due to its scalability and suitability to be installed in an area like Gangwon-do, where people can happily leave the cars to charge for a couple of hours in restaurants or tourist attractions. With more properties having this ability to produce and manage the power, we can build an intelligent system that is more resilient. A smart system that manages a multi-directional flow of power based on demand. There are 3 basic services that Smile provides: engagement with the public sector to provide financing solutions, establishing a PPP model with local municipalities like Gangwon-do. We set up contracts to sell locally sourced renewable energy to KEPCO and to EV drivers. And finally, we provide the platform that allow EV drivers to locate the charging point and to facilitate sales transaction. Using ICT and IoT devices, data is collected and used to efficiently manage supply and demand. Data collected is automatically uploaded into our digital twin model that is combined with AI technology for route optimization to charging locations and for analysis of PV yield based on weather patterns. With the simulated information from our digital twin model, we have the opportunity to sell the potential energy production for all properties as a simulated commodity through the metaverse, allowing more financing opportunities to our members. Our project pipeline is as follows. Stage 0, we'll be working closely with the public sector to set up our management system while simultaneously engaging with the public through a marketing campaign and consultation. Stage 1, we help our members with the installation of chargers, electrical storage, PVs, and ICT devices for network connections. We launch our platform through mobile and EV app for network to go live. And finally, we will continue our regional cooperation to maximize network diffusion. Finally, we've ensured that our evaluation and measuring framework is in alignment with UN SDGs. The progress of our SMILE will be evaluated based on 3 sets of categories: business settlement, energy, and carbon footprint. Monitoring and evaluation will be reported on an annual basis to all relevant stakeholders, promoting a greater degree of transparency to our operation. Thank you for listening.
Great, thank you so much, Team SMILE. You just made it on time, so thank you for respecting the time. Next up, we have WWW. If you're ready, please do feel free to share your presentations and your screens.
Sorry, I think we are taking a while for full screen mode.
It's okay. If you also need some help, technical assistance, please do let us know. We'll guide you through how to do this.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll start with our presentation. Hi, it's an honor to present our project. We are team with WOW for World. With the advent of Ubiquitous City and the advent of Smart City, it is possible to share or supply information and receive the benefits of intelligence services provided by AI. However, we all know that UCity in Korea has failed. The reason was that there was no concept of human-centered, and there's no concept of specific big data, platform, or artificial intelligence. It just stayed in testing the technologies of certain companies. Overall, the technology was partially ahead, but there was no concept of people-centered or sustainable smart cities. However, as we see in London or Barcelona, IBM started water treatment because water treatment itself has the greatest impact on people's lives. When technology can change the living infrastructure the most, and also smart city information technology is applied to it, it will be able to lead the global market. As this development of ICT and introduction of smart cities, people in some cities have the chance or the environment to live on infrastructure benefits. However, on the other hand, the regional disparity in technology supply exists. So our team's status quo is that smart city has focused only on new towns when providing high-tech infrastructure. 300 billion won was invested only in the metropolitan area, big cities, new towns, and innovative cities, and it was causing regional imbalances. According to the survey, it is predicted that the high-tech services infrastructure construction type, which is 43%, will decrease to 20%. Even if high-tech services infrastructure construction type decreases, yet disparity of high technology is still continuing, and so people will try to move where they can live conveniently. So this causes undeveloped cities to continue to decline. Excessive population to only certain cities will cause other urban problems and reduce the quality of city life. Therefore, cities need to develop data and services of existing cities and build intercity networks and region-linked platforms. So in this project, our team has 3 goals to build intercity networks and region-linked platforms. First, it is to reduce urban sprawl and expand compact city. It is to ensure that as many people as possible to live in smart cities and receive infrastructure and technical benefits fairly. Next is to increase opportunities to learn and interact with people in other regions through metaverse. Even if we don't have a direct visit to the region, metaverse helps us to expand the range of communication and equalize environmental aspects to all the citizens. Lastly, real-time interworking between real cities and cities through metaverse makes it easy to understand and provide changing information about certain cities conveniently. As an example, Changwon in Korea is planning a metaverse project that can lead the city by implementing virtual reality, providing information to promote the city government. By using metaverse, we suggest a way to increase opportunities to learn about other regions' information and infrastructure. The point of our project is to expand the range of communication between regions and citizens in order to reduce the disparity between cities and citizens. To sum up our project, by expanding the number of compact cities, urban sprawl is reduced, and more people can live in smart cities. The key of our project is to allow everyone to adapt to the new technologies so that we can overcome the mishap of UCity in the past. Furthermore, activation of metaverse within a city enables to contact other cities and even develop one's own city. Through the connection with the city in the metaverse, our ultimate goal of our project is to verify the current situation in the city through devices such as smartphone in real life or real time. Then it is easy to interact with other regions without disparity or without any difficulties in the fairness between the technologies or the information, and citizens can directly build and share the technologies and infrastructure they want through metaverse and apply their needs in the region through the platform called metaverse. Therefore, we believe that our project contributes in the sustainability and the fairness in building smart cities.
Please wrap up in 10 seconds.
Great, thank you for wrapping up, team. And next up, we have Team Mecca. If you can share your screens whenever you're ready.
Okay. Dear colleagues and professor, good morning. We would like to present to you our project on creating metaverse contents for arts and culture education. This is our table of contents, and we'll first introduce you to our team name, Mecca, which is an abbreviation for Metaverse education of culture and art. Here are our proud team members, Sejin Kim, Seyoung Lee, Yeokhyung Hwang, Haejin Jun, Richan Kang, and myself. We aim to activate experiential learning in smart cities. We believe that cities only become truly smart when their services become accessible and connected to everyone in society. On that note, we believe that our metaverse content is a smart solution to delivering cultural and artistic educational content beyond one's geographical limitations. We said we want to activate experiential learning. Experiential learning are hands-on experiences and reflections that students and people can directly engage to real-world situations in classroom environment. It commonly refers to as learning by doing, and statistics show that students learn better when they're actively and physically engaged in the process. Unfortunately, during COVID, activity orientation along with experiential learning had decreased, obviously. However, even after the pandemic, these interactive, immersive experiences will have limitations in the physical realm. Going to museums or parks for these experiential education take time and effort. There are places where we cannot physically go because of the geographical distance or due to one's physical disabilities. There are also places that we cannot go because we don't have time to travel the distance or can't go because we just don't have time to spare for the experience, not only for yourself, but also maybe for your children. Not everyone in the city has time to visit amusement parks for their children, nor always have the resources needed to go to museums. Maybe you don't have a car, maybe you're disabled, maybe you're just busy. Moreover, it is not that we can go out in the mountains and entertain nature like we've done before urbanization. These are all what hinders one in cities from having experiential learning. In sum, we believe that experiential education will produce great educational value, yet it is hard to achieve due to realistic aspects. These limitations are what smart cities should overcome. Thus, we believe that cultural contents in metaverse platforms will be a solution to this educational void. As seen in this model, smart city with its technology and connectivity will provide for the network infrastructure of the metaverse platform, and with the advantages of metaverse that it grants ubiquitous presence and concurrence in the virtual world, will enable experiential learning that can overcome physical and time limitation. This metaverse educational content will give educational resilience for smart cities, which acts as a full positive feedback loop. We will use photogrammetry technology, which easily transforms 2D data into 3D objects with low cost to build objects and figures in the virtual world. We had done a feasibility test using a motorcycle where we took pictures of a motorcycle with an iPhone camera and created a 3D model as shown in the picture. As you see with the feasibility test, creating a 3D asset can be done as easily as this, simply taking pictures and translating to the virtual space. Here is a demo simulation of what our metaverse content will look like in Unreal Engine. The framework of the project, hence, is the following. We will take 2D images of objects or target buildings to translate into photogrammetry, which will create 3D assets that can be used as either immersive contents for educational use or to Unreal Engine for other uses in the future. Created educational contents can be provided by or for museums, government, or other contents platforms, or using STEAM platforms be distributed to students or other educational institutions. We plan to operate as shown below, divided into 4 parts. First, with a precise business plan that had completed market research, patent licenses, and cost analysis, we will plan out the financial details. We shall consider the debt equity balance, investment relations, and governmental subsidies to fully cover the cost of the content development. Then we will focus on content
Please wrap up in 10 seconds.
involve target demand survey, scenario planning, and UX UI graphic design. Finally, we'll plan sales and operations for effective distribution. Thank you for listening, and we're open for questions.
Great, thank you so much, Team Mecca, for the elaborate presentation. Last but not least, we have our final presenters, ACE Millennials. You're up next.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are going to present the Mkushi Millennial Forum. We are called the ACE Millennials, and on this team, I have Min from South Korea, Sufyan from Nigeria, Song from South Korea, and Yafan from China, and myself from Zambia. We came up with our team was very cultural diverse. This is going to be our presentation outline. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into this, may I please grab your attention? Sorry, allow me to share the sound.
Acres to assess the health of crops and hundreds of acres. Picture this. Drones that monitor hundreds of acres to assess the health of crops and animals. Smart sensors to help in the early detection of infestations, and automatic systems that water, fertilize, and fumigate each plot, depending on its specific characteristics. These are just some of the virtues of smart farming, the concept that we are proposing to help eradicate hunger in an overpopulated future. Added to that, smart agro-tourism, our proposal, is smart farming that is done for touristic purposes, which includes educative benefits as well, thus creating diversified streams of income for our farm.
Fellow champions and other colleagues, the world population is projected to be sitting at 10 billion. In other words, we are going to have more than 2 billion more mouths to feed by the year 2050. This is a threat to human life, and in particular, I'm referring to Agenda 2030 and SDG 2, which aims to end world hunger. The Food Agriculture Organization has said that this threat can only be met by a 70% rise in agricultural production. The challenge, therefore, for us is not just to produce more food, but to do it sustainably. Therefore, our goal as ACE Millennials is to contribute to poverty alleviation in an overpopulated future and ensure food security by diversification, modernization, and commercialization of the agriculture sector. Our project outcome is one that scores a hat trick. We have three particular goals. That is a positive environmental impact, economic gain, and last but not the least, food security. We did carry out a case study. And in our case study, we looked at the Seoul Metro Farm, where we have learned that in order for our project to be sustainable, we do need to ensure that we have a place that has got high traffic concentration and a transit place. For our project implementation technology, as mentioned in the video, we are looking at drones, as well as the use of the Internet of Things that will make it possible to optimize the monitoring of our farms. We are also looking at big data. The ability of big data will help analyze massive amounts of data. Artificial intelligence will also help us with monitoring pigs. We're also looking at blockchain methodology that will monitor crops, animals, and farms growth until the handover to our suppliers. Our project site is in the heart of Africa, Zambia. Zambia is a country with 8 neighboring countries. We look at this project site because it has vast land available in order for us to set up our farming block and is a transitional town. We are looking at a district that has 17,726 square kilometers in a country that is predominantly using mining for its activity, and thus we offer a diversification of agriculture. We did carry out a site analysis for our project site, and in our site analysis, we did note that Zambia has sufficient internet to use for us to carry out our project. Also, we also looked at Zambia has sufficient mobile connection. Added to that, Zambia accounts for 40% of Southern Africa's water resources. Also, we hope to eradicate poor agriculture practices, such as the popular Chitamene system, which is a slash and burn system that is used to fertilize the soils. Added to that, our project will be able to supply food, will be able to give agriculture foods not only to Zambia, but its 8 neighboring countries and the entire SADC region. This is an idea of our site conceptual plan. This is an idea of our site conceptual plan. In this plan, we can already see that this project is sitting on the highway. We also intend to put up an education center.
I'm sorry, please wrap up in 10 seconds. Thank you.
For capital investment, we are looking at foreign grant, the government of Zambia, and a local investor. We did do a cost evaluation, and we look at a revenue income of coming about $2 million annually. Our project is actually going to be is going to be conducted in 3-year phase. Lastly, friends, this is our team. We had myself, Tilianji, as mentioned, and I had 2 researchers, Min and Sufyan, as well as Yafan. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Ace Millennials. Now, that marks our last team presentation. So I wanted to congratulate all the teams for such a wonderful and insightful presentation. I can really see how you've worked diligently to develop your proposals and to take that extra step to enhance your solutions. I also understand that 5 minutes may not have been enough to showcase your hard work, but you'll also have another opportunity, perhaps during the finals next week, to demonstrate your understanding of your ideas and your projects. I'm also sure that our judges here have many comments after seeing the 20 presentations and would like to give them the floor and the chance to share their insights. So may I first invite Ms. China Bok to deliver her comments. Ms. Bok, I hand the floor to you.
Hi, first of all, thank you for giving all the presentation today. And I know that the preparation will be pretty tough during the month. And as a person who's working in a company, it actually takes time to make proposals and discussion, decision making, and development and research. This takes time a lot, and I know that this would be very stressful. But I think everyone does a very good job, and it was very good to hear. I think in general, every proposal has been developed it a lot from the beginning, and I can see some team has changed the topic completely, and some team has developed it and improved the content remarkably. And I think that is how we always do during the actual field for proposal preparation. That happens all the time, and I think during a month, that period, I think you guys have made a lot of effort and good job. And I have a lot things to talk, actually, comments on every team, but it's not going to be easy because of the time. If I have a time, I just would like to ask WeGO to give some detailed comments on the presentation after all, and I think that can be delivered to everybody after this.
Yes, Ms. Polk. Also, please feel free to take your time as well during this session.
Okay, like I have just 2 general comments, everybody, and about the presentation itself. It was generally the content was good, but the way of deliver was actually a bit has to be improved. For example, this is an international competition, so that's regarding the language written in the presentation has to be carefully written. For example, I see some Koreans and I see some Chinese that can be disturbing some delivering the presentation itself. And that's also very important for delivering your idea to everybody in the world. So that's one comment. And the second comment is somehow it was mixed with megabus and metabus and smart city and some items. I think that has to be aligned in, what can I say, the contents, the concepts has to be somehow well combined each other in one story, so that the listeners cannot be should understand a bit clearly the ideas that you're delivering. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Book, for sharing your remarks. And I understand you have more familiarity with the champions and with the proposals, given your participation and contributions to Workshop 1. And so I believe that our champions can further benefit from Ms. Book's comments and insight today moving forward. So thank you once again, Ms. Book. Next, may I give the floor to Mr. Callum Hanforth, who has been incredibly supportive of our program, and if he can perhaps share his comments of the semi-finals presentations. I yield the floor to you, Mr. Callum.
Cool. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, everyone. Genuinely a very, very inspiring end to my week, so I really appreciate you all taking the time to share such very exciting ideas. And as someone who has many failed startups to my name, also appreciate the journey that you're all going on, and just very inspired and privileged to be a part of it. A few kind of thoughts on my side. Firstly, very impressed by all of your commitment to this, your quality presentations, and also your patience with technical difficulties when presenting. It happens to all of us. The worst thing for me is I have, advisor for digitalization in my name, and then I always end up failing on Zoom or similar. So it's very much a journey for all of us. So well done with tackling that. I've got kind of 4, I think, key points that I think came across from all the presentations that we see in many of the kind of startups and other entrepreneurs that we work with. The first is the kind of risk of being led by technology or relying on technology. As my other judge just mentioned, you've all got great concepts in there, things like metaverse, things like blockchain and so on, 5G and other elements. The real risk, though, is that you end up relying on technology. So I think wherever you're using technology, be very clear on its value add and why it plays a role in your kind of solution, your project, or your idea. For example, we get a lot of questions from many governments and countries around the world, literally every other day, saying, we want to use blockchain. And our first question is, well, why? What value add does blockchain add compared to something else? So I think be very, very clear and cognizant on the value add of any technology that you're using. The second and kind of linked to that is thinking about scalability from the outset. A lot of the work that we do or see, we see a lot of pilots and a lot of kind of tests and test beds, but the kind of scalability is very, very challenging, and also the kind of replicability. So, how do you take your solution to another city, another country, another context, particularly areas where the data and digital infrastructure may be quite varied. There's nothing wrong with having a solution that will only work in one city. That's completely fine. But I think if you can think about scalability from the outset, it's very, very, very important. And then also, but thirdly, and kind of linked to that, is thinking about business models. Obviously, at the UN, at UNDP, we focus particularly on the kind of last mile. So often, very, very poor or marginalized populations. And in these contexts and these populations, often traditional business models aren't going to work. So thinking about things like blended approaches, so using subsidies sometimes, or subscription models, or business models that are different for higher income versus lower income populations can be very interesting, particularly to ensure that no one is left behind from the kind of products or the services that you're building. And I think Mecca, Team Mecca touched upon this as well. So seeing you all kind of thinking about this, but that kind of blended approach, I think is really important. And then as part of that as well is also measuring what success looks like and what is and isn't working. And all of you had some really thoughtful approaches to measurement here, which is actually something that we don't see in many entrepreneurs. So keep thinking on the kind of measurement context. It's really, really important. And you're all doing some great work there. And then finally, to kind of circle back to the technology bit, often the easiest bit is technology. So a lot of the solutions, even emerging technologies like 5G, AI, and so on, are relatively developed. The hardest bit is behavior change. And the WWW team kind of really highlighted this as well. Getting behavior change in your constituents, in your users, in ministers, in other stakeholders is really, really difficult. And so the importance of things like human-centered design, UX testing, and so on are really important here. And again, you're all engaging with that, but I'd really encourage you to really kind of focus on actually how you're going to ensure or encourage behavior change in the kind of consumers or customers that you're working with. And then finally, just a big thank you to Jenny and the team. They are the kind of unsung heroes with a lot of this. Like, we've just had a hugely comprehensive session. We participate in a lot of these, and this was hugely smoothly run. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes. So yeah, enormous thanks to Jenny and the WeGO team for pulling this all together. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Callum, for your remarks and for such insightful feedback and comments delivered to all the champions teams, and for providing your experience as well, and insight about your experience that can be applicable to the development of their proposals. So thank you. And I believe that with your expertise in that area and this area particularly, I think your comments will be very helpful for our champions. Thank you so much. I would like to perhaps give the floor also to Ms. Elena Umbiarcho. She is the head of program department, and she has also contributed to the evaluation process on behalf of WeGO. So Ms. Cho, if you would like to make and share some remarks, you have the floor.
Yeah, sure, why not? And thank you. Hi, champions. Good to see you all again. It's Elena. Thank you so much for making this progress throughout the weeks. I see so much improvements and developments were made since our first encounter on the pitching day. And as Gina mentioned, some radical changes were also spotted, changing the topic, but very interesting all in all. I think it was great to see how you've all identified challenges that we come across in our daily lives, and you managed to come up with the solutions, smart solutions to address this issue. I think this is a very important attitude that we should all have as young leaders. And I liked how you, this time, other than our pitching day, today, that you tried out to lay out the specifics, what needs to be addressed and how it should be addressed in the realizing process of your project proposals. The technologies and strategies were well devised, and I think very well delivered today. Another message that I wanted to mention is that creativity is of course very important, but at the same time, the feasibility and the implementation is also important. As after the final 3 teams has been selected, what we will be doing is to help the teams look for an opportunity for actual implementation or to scale up the project. So this is very important when making this kind of proposal. It should come with the possibility of an actual implementation plan. And so it has been almost 3 months. Some of the teams I came to be quite familiar with through your active participation in the workshops. You've been sharing your ideas and about your projects throughout the workshops. And I want to give applause to all of the 20 teams that have made this far. It was very hard to evaluate the 20 teams. I think to me, all of you here today are already WeGO champions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cho, for your remarks. And thank you once again to all of our judges here for your active participation and evaluation of our WeGO Champion semi-finalists. We're very grateful for your invaluable contributions, and we look forward to how our champion finalists can further advance their projects by incorporating your insights. So now, before we proceed to the final closing session in which we will announce the finalists, I'd like to take a quick 10-minute break so that the Secretariat can carefully assess the judges' evaluation. And so we'll take that 10-minute break. But before we take this break, I know we've been doing this for the past workshops, and so it's become a little bit of a tradition, but if we can maybe take a virtual group photo together to show all your beautiful faces and your hard work and contribution to this program, that'd be great. So everyone turn on your cameras. And whenever we're all ready, let's take that photo. So are we good to go? Great. So let's take this photo in 3, 2, 1. Great. I think that's great. So let's take that 10-minute break and we'll see you back shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. I know it took a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but we had to carefully assess and be very sure with the finalists today. So after this assessment and careful review of the judges' evaluation, WeGO is very ecstatic to announce 11 finalists here today, given that we had a tie in the score, so the exception was made. So if we can give a round of applause to the 11 finalist teams, which are the Aced Millennials, the Achilles, CDUT Warriors, Citypedia, the Effective Energy for Better Future, ESC, Mecca, More, WeGO, Smile, and Standard. Congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause and pat yourself on the shoulders. Overall, all the teams present here have done an extraordinary job of displaying your knowledge of smart cities and its challenges, and of finding very innovative solutions for solving these challenges. And we believe you have all surpassed our expectations and delivered a great degree of creativity and of excellence. I hope that it was an enjoyable experience, especially working together with your teammates, and we hope that you can all join us for the finals next week. Now, finalists, we will gather at the same time next week, Friday, for this finals. And during the finals, the selected 11 teams will be evaluated on your ability and to engage in interactive panel discussions. And team members throughout this time will be randomly selected to address specific questions pertaining to their projects. And these questions are meant to test your comprehension of your projects and to assess your ability to think on your feet. And in addition to your participation in the final discussion, the selected 11 teams will be expected to further develop the initial project proposals submitted at the beginning of the WeGO Smart City Champions Program Phase 2, with the addition of 3 more questions that will help us accurately assess your work. This will also be incorporated in your final evaluation scores. And the final project proposal template will be shared with the finalists later today. All champions, including the semi-finalists and the professors, as well as the WeGO members and partners, are also welcome to join the finals next week, just as they did in the semi-finals, to find out who the winning champions are. So before we close our workshop, once again, we would like to extend our gratitude to our judges, Callum, Gina, and for Elena, and all the champions for your active participation in all of Phase 1 and Phase 2 over the past months. Thank you so much. And this concludes today's semifinals and workshop. And thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.